Emergency crews are at the scene of a huge warehouse fire in Northamptonshire. Thick smoke could be seen miles from the Rushden industrial estate.
Fires in factories and processing plants are making headlines, potentially shutting down operations, damaging machinery, and in turn possibly costing businesses millions. And in high-risk environments like recycling and manufacturing, fire is not a rare event. For some, it's a weekly operational threat. For example, last year, Monoworld faced a fire that made national news, the kind of incident that no business wants to repeat. So, they began looking for a fire suppression solution with two key factors in mind. Firstly, it needed to be something that those around could quickly and safely rely on, as well as being easy to use, and dealing with a fire at the very earliest stages, if such a situation arose. To understand the risks inside of modern recycling operations and why Monoworld upgraded their fire safety, we visited their Rushden facility. Hi, I'm Andrew Robinson.
How you doing?
How you doing? Right, okay, fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, just a bit more of an understanding of what happens here really with the recycling.
Okay, yeah, do you want to go for a wander then?
Yeah.
So, obviously we're able to process plastics, cardboard, aluminium, steel, and plastics as well. We have multiple sites across the UK that can deal with any sort of recycling requirements that are needed. So this particular site here, we have a PRF, which is a plastic recycling facility. We basically receive plastics in baled quantities, which we then open the material. It runs through the plant. We'll head this way around the plant. It can go around the plant and then it gets sorted into the particular grades of plastic that it needs to be, then it's baled and then forwarded obviously for onwards production and recirculation.
Now this plant deals with plastics and metals. Every day tons of mixed materials arrive, compressed into large bales, and inside those bales are some of the industry's most dangerous fire threats. Things like batteries, vapes, aerosols, and pressurised canisters. The kinds of items that can easily ignite into fires, causing thousands in damage without any warning.
So I said, this is the key in-feed here where the material's broken down, where it's a mixture of variations of plastics. Goes through our in-feed there, up into the system via conveyor belts, goes through a complex camera system as well as the hand sort to make sure that any contaminants or target material are removed.
So is it mostly ultimately hand sorted then basically?
No, so we have an advanced camera system. It's sorted by air and then by a pellet, so it goes through a camera which understands what the material is. Through opticals, that will drop it down into the areas it needs to be, but we have hand sorting cabins just to make sure that some materials are squashed onto another, or at some point they become amalgamated, so they remove those contaminants or anything that shouldn't be in the material is removed from that before.
This is how you receive it to start with, so you've got a combination of plastics, tins.
Plastics, films, tins. It can have a mixture of material because obviously it needs to go through a facility like ours. So the contaminants are removed. So during the plastic processing, obviously we don't want aluminium in there, and we don't want films in there because that's not the target material. But we will remove those. We also have another plant that will take the aluminium and then we can process that to ensure that we optimise the removal of target material that's suitable for recycling for the circular economy.
So obviously we've spoken earlier on, but what are the fire risks with this at this stage?
Within waste, obviously fire is a huge potential. You'll see that there's a lot of fires within recycling. We've recently been victim of a fire. This was due to a combustible self-igniting lithium battery, like vapes or mobile phones. So literally just something as small as a vape? As small as a vape. Kids' toys now also have batteries within them. Anything from your old sort of Nokia phone style batteries, you're finding them in kids' toys and radios. That within a material can obviously create devastating effects. Subsequent to fire and rebuilding because of that. You'll see that side there is still part of the damaged fire that's being resolved. But the need to be making sure these target materials are removed so they don't forward within the chain, but also so we can eliminate the risk for ourselves.
Now, even with advanced sorting, a single hidden item can trigger a fire deep inside the machinery, where operators can struggle to know exactly what is on fire and to effectively position themselves to tackle it. Now, the fire safety stick works on more types of fire classes than other extinguishers, and, unlike those other extinguishers, will never make a fire worse. But another key advantage with the stick is that the vapours from it will weave through deep into the machinery and attack the fire even in those hard to reach areas. well within the huge baler machine. Now, traditional extinguishers often cannot get access to these spaces at all. But you see, with the fire safety stick, you don't need to have a direct line of sight. The fire safety stick can either be handheld with the operator pointing the discharging vapour into the baler, or, if need be, it can be inserted directly into the machine with a compacted waste, past the protective grills and guards. The fire safety stick's vapour flows through the compacted material, reducing the oxygen at the flame level, where other extinguishers simply cannot reach. So a fire that once required a full call out could now be dealt with within seconds and without putting anyone in danger. Of course, the fire service should always be called to ensure the fire is indeed out and is safe. But remember, the firefighting vapour hangs around in that confined space long after it's finished discharging, and therefore giving much longer to suppress the fire and prevent any possible reignition.
Yes. So the way the material works in this particular part, we take the bales, we open the bales up, it then gets scooped into the hopper here. As you can imagine, there's 600, 700, 800 kilos of material, which then are coming up this conveyor belt and they drop into the hopper.
Yeah.
Obviously we can't see if there's any contaminants or anything within that area.
Yeah.
So once that drops down, you have a compression chamber here. So the baler is squashing the material from 600, 700 kilos into these solid, tightly compressed bricks. So the dangers that we face here is that within the machine, you could have an explosion which can ignite material. Again, it could be anything sort of an old flammable material, canisters or spray paints. So the fire's happening within there. So it's hard to be able to tackle that, but obviously it's hydraulic system, so there's large risk to that. So you have inspection chambers that you could open, you could put the stick in to be able to combat what's happening inside, because this is like an access panel to be able to put it in, and then within the machine, obviously because it's sealed, that it will be able to contain the early stages of a fire.
And also you've actually got fire risks on the machines themselves as well.
Yes, so obviously there's a lot of equipment here as well that we want to protect, so if there's anything that happens here, it can create further fires across the plant. So
it's certainly worth it. Obviously you've got the forklift, but again, having a stick mounted on the wall here,
it's easy accessible, like you said, you can even mount it straight on the machine. So the fact is, with a magnetic version,
magnetic
that you just pull it off, you can get to the fire there. Or like you said, if it's inside this compartment here, you can access the fire into there, or you could throw the stick into there because you're safe, you're not entering a machine. You can put the stick into the machine itself.
So. No, brilliant. And is this a similar thing with the plastics as well? So obviously this is mostly for the metals.
This is metals. I can show you the same on the plastic now. So same principles, but a lot bigger machine. But the material is more flammable. So again, you've got more access points or potentials that you can fight the fire.
Okay, no, that's great. Another area that Monoworld are looking at the fire safety stick is their diesel-powered forklifts. You see, traditional extinguishers are bulky, heavy, and awkward to mount, and operators can struggle to deploy them quickly under pressure. Fires often start under the engine compartment, which can be hard to reach for some traditional extinguishers. In the case of dry powder extinguishers, for example, the powder release causes costly, corrosive damage, often beyond the fire, as well as additional health risks. So ideally, the solution needs to be simple, lightweight, and instantly accessible, and is safe and easy to use, and leaves no residual damage. Well, the fire safety stick mounts easily on any forklift and gives operators a fast action, all-class suppression tool. The fire safety stick is lightweight and easy to mount, quick and easy to activate. It's functional at any angle, it's effective on all major fire classes, including solid combustibles, flammable liquids, gases, and electrical systems. It's clean, leaving no damaging corrosive residue, as well as being safe for all those within the area. So it gives forklift operators real capability when every second matters. So that's the risk you've got with it out here. Obviously, once it goes inside with the processing, what have you, I suppose it's a greater risk because it can easily be crushed, etc.
And that obviously can create it to, especially if it goes into our balers. If that gets squashed there, that can create it to explode and obviously set light to the material within. Obviously the FLT trucks that we have, when they clamp the material and they're moving forward with the material, if it drags on the floor, obviously if the pressure, the clamps can cause anything like that to sort of self-ignite. Hence why we're having the fire stick installed on our FLTs to ensure obviously optimum safety for those as well. Okay,
fine. I was going to say, so you're looking to get the fire sticks onto the forklifts and what have you.
So to start off on the forklifts, obviously to see how they perform there, because obviously it's a more suitable designed for trucks.
Yep.
It's ease of use.
Yep.
The fact, obviously, it lasts longer.
Yep.
Obviously, excel by date. So
Yep.
obviously, there's the viability of the cost, and obviously the ease of use makes it a better option for us.
Exactly that. And again, I'm going to go through more detail. The thing with fire extinguisher is catching that fire at the early stages as quickly as possible,
Yes.
so it doesn't escalate and worse at all.
Yeah, and obviously since we've been victim of fire, we want to make sure that we've got the best product on the market
Yep.
within our system, because we
Yep.
obviously know firsthand
Yep.
how these things can develop and obviously how important it is to tackle. It's
Exactly.
not something that you always think about. You look at the old system and a big red
Yep.
bottle and think it's
Yep.
the best way to fight a fire. Once you've been involved in a fire, you
Yes.
soon realise that there's other options available. And they're more viable and cost effective.
Yeah, exactly. The true cost of industrial fires isn't just the flames, it's the downtime. You see, even small fires cause the shutdowns, while areas are made safe, which results in lost production and lost money. But they also create insurance complications and rising premiums. And with tight margins, even minor incidents can cost thousands. The fire safety stick stops small fires before they become business-stopping events, and it does it without needing to contract external companies for annual servicing. Whereas with traditional pressurised extinguishers, they need annual servicing, admin time to manage those costly contracts, and possible disruption across the site, as well as expiry-related replacements after 5 or 10 years. Well, these costs soon add up. The fire safety eliminates all of that. No servicing, no pressure checks, no refills, just quick visual checks that you and your team can do yourselves. And the sticks have at least a 15-year lifespan, potentially longer if correctly maintained. The business result? A fire suppression tool that reduces downtime, longer lifespan, and eliminates yearly servicing costs. When Monoworld reviewed their fire risk, it made total sense, having it as that all-important, rapid first line of defence.
So we will remove from the trucks the standard ones as you've just seen, because they're bulky, they're not fit for purpose in a sense. Obviously, the expiration date, you've got to constantly manage that part of the process. But with a fire stick, it's a lot more compact. It's a lot easier for heavy use vehicles that are moving around a lot. So it allows the drivers to be able to react quicker and understand how to use it, because it's an easier process to use, ignite the stick to extinguish the fire.
To show how effective the fire safety stick really is, we demonstrated it on petrol and gas fires. Activation is simple. Remove the top protective cap, strike the black tip at the top of the stick with the bottom striker cap. And then once activated, holding the stick by the handle, crucially leaving one hand free, simply direct the vapour at the fire. The vapour fills the space, flowing through the machinery, and keeps working even if the operator needs to leave it behind and escape to safety.
There you go.
And as you can see, the staff at Monoworld extinguish the flames with ease. Industrial fire risks are increasing, materials are changing, and machinery is evolving. Insurance demands are tightening, but the solution doesn't need to be complicated. Give operators a tool that works in real-world conditions. Safe, fast, easy and effective. A tool that reduces downtime and eliminates servicing costs. A tool that protects people, machinery, and yes, the bottom line too. That's the fire safety stick. If you want to see how it can protect your operations, your workforce and your equipment, or to buy your own fire safety stick, click the link in the description. And subscribe to follow how we're helping to change the future of industrial fire safety. The industry is changing, and so is fire safety. The Fire Safety Stick.